Hey guys, what's going on? James here, and in this video today, we're going to be previewing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Week 12 matchup versus the New York Giants. This video is sponsored by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. By the way, more on them in a little bit. And I feel like the most important place to start with this preview is with some of the roster moves the Buccaneers have made. So, firstly, the Bucs have downgraded nickel cornerback Tyke Smith to out for this game. So Tyke Smith will not be playing, and Tristan Wirfs was downgraded to doubtful. So he's probably not going to be playing in this game as well. Now, you have Christian Izien at nickel cornerback. He has started at nickel at times this year. He has started at safety this year. He has started at outside cornerback in some games this year. Christian Izien has really been the jack of all trades, versatile type of defensive back for the Bucs this year to mixed results, let's say. Now, he was very good at nickel cornerback last year, and this year he's been struggling a little bit, but he's also been playing three positions this year. So hopefully, him playing an entire game at nickel cornerback, we can see more of what we saw from Izien last year and less of what we've been seeing so far this year. Secondly, with Wirfs being unlikely to play, Justin Skule will be the starting left tackle for this matchup. Now, Justin Skule has played at times this year at right tackle, filling in for Luke Gedeke, who had been dealing with a couple of weeks out due to a concussion. And Skule did not do great overall at right tackle. Now, he is naturally a left tackle in the NFL. He's a swing tackle, so to speak, but he's played more left tackle in his career. That would lend to the idea that he should be better over at left tackle versus right tackle. He doesn't have an easy matchup. We'll dive into that a little bit later on in this video, in this preview, but look, fingers crossed that Skule can do some good things, that they can help him out, much like what they were trying to do whenever he was playing right tackle. But of course, I don't have to tell you guys, having Tyke Smith and having Tristan Wirfs out for this game, it's not good. It's not good, obviously. So hopefully Skule and Christian Izien can both get the jobs done in their respective positions. Now, some other moves that were done. Jamel Dean was activated from the injured reserve. The Buccaneers waived Antonio Greer Jr. Greg Allman of Fox Sports says he has a pretty good chance to rejoin the Bucs practice squad if he does clear waivers. The Buccaneers did also elevate linebacker V. Jones to the active roster from the practice squad. That's not an official promotion. That just means he is going to be elevated to the active roster for this game. Real quick, before we dive into what that can mean for the Bucs, I do want to say, yet again, thank you to the sponsor of this video today, BetUS Sportsbook and Casino. If you guys use the promo code YouTube150, you get a 150% sign-up bonus on your first deposit, 125% bonus on your next two deposits. That is all up to $2,000, guys. Thanks so much to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for being the proud sponsor of this channel. Now, getting Jamel Dean back is huge. I really do believe that. I know some people are very down on Dean, and I understand why. Dean has not had a great year this year under any circumstances. But I still believe that having Jamel Dean out there is better than having a Josh Hayes or a Tyreek Funderburk out there right now. Okay? I do believe that. I think a lot of people would agree with that. Zion McCollum is officially listed as questionable for this game, but he did have a full participation in Friday's practice. That's a good thing. Having Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum back would be huge. But if Zion McCollum cannot go, even some combination of Jamel Dean and Troy Hill, Jamel Dean and maybe Josh Hayes, Jamel Dean and, let's just leave, no disrespect to Tyreek Funderburk, but let's just leave it at Jamel Dean and Josh Hayes or Troy Hill, would still be better than having Jamel Dean and Zion McCollum out for this game, right? Of course, the best scenario is having Dean, McCollum, and Tyke Smith out there, but having Dean, maybe Hill or Hayes and Christian Izien, it's not as bad as it could be. The Bucs have been more banged up at cornerback throughout this year, so it's good to get Dean back, right? It is a healthier body. It's a guy who has started games, and I know people are down on Dean this year, but maybe he'll come back and play better. That's the hope, right? That's the hope. So fingers crossed that Dean can play well, can communicate well, and be a boost to this Buccaneers defense overall. But again, those have been some of the roster changes for the Bucs. Now, in case of roster changes for the Giants, some big changes, right? Of course, we did talk about it, Tommy DeVito. It was stuck in Danny DeVito in my mind. I couldn't remember his name for a second, but we talked about Tommy DeVito being the new starting quarterback for this team, for the New York Giants, that is. He replaced then benched quarterback Daniel Jones, but now it's taken a step further. Daniel Jones isn't even on the Giants anymore. So the Bucs are playing a team that not only benched their starting quarterback, former first round draft pick, but cut their starting quarterback within like a 4-day span, right? They went from him being the starter to him not being on the team anymore. That's a big change, and I think that is also kind of an indication as to where the Giants are right now in terms of just where they are as a franchise, right? They are 2-8. They are in a situation where they just got rid of their former big time quarterback. There's a lot of opportunity here for the Bucs, right? With the New York Giants, that's been the biggest roster change for them. They have Kayvon Thibodeau possibly coming back. He is questionable to return. If he cannot go, that's huge. But let's dive into the Giants a little bit, talk about what they've been good at this year, what they've been bad at. So in terms of points for, they're at 15.6 points per game. That's lowest in the NFL. So of course, makes sense why they benched Daniel Jones to put in Tommy DeVito. Something's got to change, right, for this Giants offense. Something has got to change because what they've been doing this year has simply not been working. Now, Tommy DeVito hasn't played in a single game this year. He has not taken a single snap in terms of quarterback play. So that's going to matter. That's going to be a big deal. In terms of passing offense, the Giants are not great. They're the 5th worst in the NFL in terms of passing offense. Not great. In terms of rushing offense, they're actually 19th in the NFL. The Bucs are 16th. We'll dive into that in a little bit, but right now we're looking at Bucs defense versus Giants offense. So the Giants are definitely better of a running team versus a passing team. Maybe this is an opportunity where you can get to the quarterback, possibly. You're going to have to. You're going to have to rattle Tommy DeVito, make him uncomfortable, force him to make mistakes. The Giants they have the least amount of passing touchdowns in the league right now with 8. They have the 21st most interceptions in the league with 7. So, again, they just have not been a very good passing team. And keep in mind, they're 11th in the NFL right now in passing attempts. That's wild. The Bucs are 13th, by the way. They have 500 more passing yards. They have 16 more passing touchdowns and only 2 more passing interceptions. So that just goes to show where the Giants are as an organization right now in terms of passing the football. But however, the main calling card for the Giants. So look, you have to get after the quarterback. Getting Jamel Dean back is huge. You got to force Tommy DeVito to make mistakes in what has been just an absolute abysmal passing attack from the Giants. That's the best way you can neutralize the Giants is force them to be one-dimensional, right? Force them to pass the ball, honestly. And so far this year against running backs, the Bucs have been pretty good. They have a top 10 to 12-ish rushing defense in the league so far this year. That doesn't bode well for the Giants, who have that's been their main benefit, their main positive for their offense. So if you can stop that run game, force them to pass the ball. I know the Bucs have not been great on passing defense this year. In fact, they have one of the worst passing defenses in the league this year. But still, I mean, that seems like that might be your best way, right? Regardless of what you feel about the secondary, regardless of what you feel about this Buccaneers defense, you got to force the young quarterback to make mistakes. I think that's going to be your best key to defensive victory here. Now, Bucs offense versus Giants defense, that's interesting because the Giants defense has actually been honestly pretty solid this year, all things considered. In terms of sacks against the quarterback, the Giants are 2nd this year. their pass rush has been extremely, extremely formidable in terms of getting after the quarterback, right? They've been extremely formidable of getting after the quarterback. I mean, you take a look, you have guys like Dexter Lawrence with 9 sacks this year, Brian Burns with 6, Azeez Ojulari with 6. By the way, Justin School is going to be going up against either Brian Burns or Azeez Ojulari. That's why I said earlier it's going to be a tough matchup for him. Not going to be an easy matchup for Graham Barton, Ben Bredesen, or Cody Mock either, going up against Dexter Lawrence. He's one of the best interior defensive pass rushers in the league. So that's the first thing, right? Is in terms of pass rush, the Giants are very legitimate. Okay, they're very legitimate. Now, in terms of passing defense, the Giants have the 3rd best passing defense in the league this year. Their secondary has been very formidable as well. Again, this Giants defense has been no joke against the passes here, folks. But how have they been against the rushing attack? Well, that's the rub, right? They have a top 7. In fact, I'm going to say, yeah, they're the 7th worst rushing defense in the league so far this year. So that's where you think offensively, okay, can you see Bucky Irving have a big game? Can you see Rachaad White making some noise? Sean Tucker, who we talked about earlier this week. Can those guys make some noise? Can those guys make some plays? And really be the crux or the crutch that the Bucs can lean on here in this offensive attack? I think the answer is yes. Like, we've seen a lot of good things from the Bucs rushing attack this year. They have a top 15 rushing attack this year. We heard Liam Cohen say that Sean Tucker should be and will be getting more carries and just snaps going forward. That's a positive thing. Mike Evans coming back is great, by the way. I think that will help out the passing game. But don't be surprised if this is a game where the running backs get a ton of work, because based on the matchup, you favor the Bucs being more of a rushing team here, whereas the Giants have had a great pass rush and they've been very good against the pass this year. Well, rely on your running backs, right? So we'll see what the Buccaneers can do here in terms of that. That's the biggest key to me, right? And it takes more pressure off of Justin School, in my opinion. Doesn't have Baker Mayfield make more mistakes. Yes, I know. It's like, well, Mike Evans is back. Get Mike Evans the ball. I think that you can do that in this game, but I don't think you should be throwing Mike Evans the ball 50 times in this game, right? You shouldn't, 100% lean on the pass in this game, just based on the matchups. I think that you should also look to try and rely on the run when possible as well. But folks, that's kind of it for this preview. What do you guys think about this game? Let me know your thoughts and opinions about this down in the comments section below. What are your score predictions for the Bucs? Do you think they're going to win, going to lose? Let me know. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope y'all enjoyed. As always, guys, I'll see you all in the next video or the next live stream. Again, one more shout out to BetUS Sportsbook and Casino for sponsoring this video. But until then, and as always, guys, see you soon, and go Bucs.